Yeah, man, heart of love, that massive upful day. theRASTApreneur here with episode number 2 of 5 things to consider, some business, branding, and marketing tips by yours truly. So, if you remember episode number 1, we were talking about brand identity. So we basically figured out what's going to be the name of your brand. We figured out that we have to get our artwork and our logo together. So basically we got our artwork together, we own our artwork, and now we're ready to move forward. We got it in the PNG form and the AI format, so we're ready to move forward. And the next step would be building a website, right? So episode number 2 is going to be 5 things to consider when building your website. Yep. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to get into number 1 of 5 things to consider when building your website. And the first thing is your domain name or your URL, right? It's the thing that people type in the World Wide Web, www dot whatever your name is. So just for instance, like my brand, I Heart Reggae. So you know what that stands for. Or Apple Music, Spotify, Shopify. So you kind of know what these things are for, right? So when you picking your URL, your domain name, you want to make sure there's something people can easily remember so that they can go home and type it in. So we'll get right into number 2. Number 2, after you have your domain name, is figuring out how many tabs and sub-tabs you're going to have. So the easier way to think about that, I like to look at website development as like home construction. So consider me the contractor that's building your home, and you're trying to figure out tabs are how many rooms you have in your home. So how many rooms and sub rooms, meaning closets maybe, do you want inside of your house, right? So figuring that out will be number 2. Number 3 would be the function and design of every tab, or what you want each room to look like and how you want each room to function. So that will be number 3 of 5 things to consider. Yeah, man. So number 4, moving right along, we're gonna say is I'm gonna say this is not a must, but it's almost a must, that you have a blog section to your website, because it's gonna help you with SEO. If you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. So when people searching for certain things, if you're blogging every day and you're tagging your images and things like that with certain keywords, then when people search certain keywords that's relative to your brand, you pop up in the search results. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. Number 5 would be making sure you have some type of like newsletter sign up form, like some stay in contact with the crowd, so you stay up on the latest and greatest updates and what's going on with me. The significance of that is that it allows you to get data. It allows you to get emails, names and emails, sometimes phone numbers of people that have already shown interest into your brand. So chances are, if they sign up for your newsletter, they're interested in something that you have to say. So when you start sending them these informational newsletters and you start to retarget them with your emails, with your email retargeting campaign, then they're already familiar and they're not likely to unsubscribe, because you're going to provide them value, right? You're not just going to sell them something, but you're providing them value. So that's 5 things to consider. I'm actually throwing a bonus today. So if you have a web developer or you're developing it yourself, make sure you have your social media links available, like the icons available, visual for people to see. So I know this kind of number 6, but that's a bonus in this episode of 5 things considered when building your website. So we're going to recap. Number 1 is figuring out your domain name, your URL, making it easy to remember so that people can easily have it in their head, even if you don't have them a card or some way that they offline and they're not getting your website URL where they can just click a link. Number 2, we're going to deal with how many tabs and sub-tabs that we want. So how many rooms and how many closets that we want in our house. Number 3, we want to be thinking about how we want each room to look, how each room we want it to function. So if you think about it in terms of even to the furniture, what do you want it to function? What is the text or the images and video that you want on each room? So have these things in the thought process. And then number 4 is making sure you add a blog section. Vlogging is something else. It's the video blogging, but I encourage you to have a YouTube to do that. So the vlog or blog would be number 4. and making sure you have a newsletter sign up form would be number 5. And the bonus for today is making sure you have your social media icons visible for people to see, possibly on every single page at the top of the page. Yeah, man. So that will do it for today's episode of 5 things to consider, some business branding and marketing tips by theRASTApreneur, yours truly. So I give thanks to everybody that tuned in. I hope somebody got value out of this. I'll be with you next video, episode number 3. Don't want to go in order of succession. Maybe it'll be about social media, because once you get your website in order, now you're ready to set up your socials and make sure it's branded there. So yeah, I think that will actually be number 3. So if you're interested in learning about 5 things to consider when starting your social media, make sure you stay tuned for episode number 3 of 5 things to consider, some business branding and marketing tips by theRASTApreneur. As I always say in closing, I use the hashtag spread love like a virus since 2014. Even if you don't use the hashtag, I want to full encourage you to live your life that way. And how can you live your life that way? Start today by being a blessing to somebody, and then make a routine of it. And so the next time I check in with you, hope you keep continuing to build your business. We're going to build these businesses together. I'm theRASTApreneur checking off. Rastafari love you all.